Good morning, high rollers, and welcome to the casino. I'm Viva Valentine. Due to a lack of interest in regular betting, we here at the Clown Casino have started to allow sports betting, and there's no better sports to rig bets on than wrestling. Wrestling has this beautiful storytelling device that I've only seen done in this type of sport: procedural storytelling. When you think of procedural storytelling, you probably think of something similar to baseball, if you old folks remember that, where all the power is in the player's hands. Players have grown accustomed to procedural generation in the spatial sense. If you need examples, you can see Nuclear Throne, Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, Hades, Death's Gambit, Dead Souls, Dungeon Souls, Darkest Dungeon 2, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Spelunky, Vampire Survivors, Returnal, Rogue Legacy 2, Risk of Rain 2. I'm sure you get it by now. But rarely do we see it in the storytelling way, especially not in sports gaming. Sandbox storytelling is a far more interesting narrative weight than linear storytellings in recent times. I said recent times. I of course love stories in my video games, and you know I don't shut the hell up about them if you know me in real life. I don't know, I found myself thinking back on more and more lackluster linear stories. For example, I beat Dishonored 2 recently. I cannot tell you a single thing that happens in Dishonored 2 recently. You're not going to get any genuine questions or answers out of me about Dishonored 2. I'm sorry about that. But games where the story follows your character, your man-made original character in this world, whether it's Sims, RimWorld, Stardew Valley, 2 Point Hospital, Dwarf Fortress, House Flippers, those intrigue me so much more. And these are the worlds that you're in. You design lives, and you breathe new life into these worlds. This, of course, leads me to the subject of this video. There's a video game out there that's surpassing all wrestling games in my eyes. Fire Pro Wrestling, while it does have a good story, it doesn't have this type of storytelling. And the game that has this type of storytelling is none other than Wrestling Empire, a game made by the legendary M. Dickey, a crafter of all things beautiful and updated faster than I could get this video out. There are countless examples of storytelling in this game, and for brevity, I'm going to tell you the longest one. I'll give you the crux of my booking career and the story that was made over the course of a literal year, both in storyline and in real life. This is a story of the most dominant champion in Wrestling Empire mythos, so far the obsession of one man, the eventual acceptance that they are wrestling soulmates. But let's start at the beginning.
Knock that shit off.
Fight, Z, moves all out, y'all just missing PP. I don't duck spoilers, shit can get leaked. Long range surf fest, how I'm hitting green beans. Ayy, stuff will go down when the arm fair, hardware. Gun on my chest, but it's not there. God's here in the boot, so any beat will do if it hair across through the crosshair. I tell them young G bulked up. Bruno Bell, he elite full up. Y'all Snorlax in the street won't budge. Game Pal Day and the beef show up. I got 3 more thugs. And we going back to back, that's failings. Links fail cause you hacks get wrapped. They flash the Mac, the Iron Hands is clapping back. I put the drum into their belly, give a max attack.
First of all, I know the shit is in a curtain call. I'm feeling limber and I'm never getting hurt at all. I'm like an urchin boot, the way I'm versatile. We're calling timber when you are the first to fall. I spit a verse and reverse all the damage done. I'm planting flashing jabs like I'm a Gatling gun. We're packing ass attack like a Terrakion. We have a clan of 3, you couldn't manage 1. Didn't need a single gimmick with fisticuffs. Just hit and stop, and it's enough. In the gym, getting bigger like a Wiggly Tough. Don't need no grunts, assist enough. Cause when you roll with me, you know there's no retreat. There's only broken skulls like you're a Toga Pete. We go at focus action, we don't know defeat. I am a mobile gamer, so go to sleep.
Way past the beat. I cross-chart 3 times, I'm Vin Diesel. When I use superpower, you might as well be a Sneasel. Throwing bullet punches with ease, hammer arm, bitch. Call a ghost in advance, I ring targets. They keep passing me in because I'm nice with it. Something like a sky or because we outside with it. Home claws lock and load, dropping bows, they know I'm a key the way I sock and throw. louder, but the beats on them. Known for ending fights after we start them. This one gon' burn him, this one gon' ice him. Fist to his head, I terrestrialize him. If he talk with his hands, I'ma chop it up with him. HP, make him realize he ain't got enough with him. When it comes to hype, man, they know it's here. I got no squares in my aura sphere.
I would say let's start at the beginning, but that would be far too much to start at. For your time and pleasure, I will simply get on with when these two cross paths for the first time. It's the year 2000, the year of our Lord and the dawn of time. The Food Wrestling Federation makes its television debut on some shitty local channel in the middle of Kentucky. Because this was a television debut, they had multiple title matches on. And the one that we see first is the tag matches. Pepsiman and Diet Pepsiman versus the Night Shift. It's a middling match, but this one would go nowhere. On the other side of the world, Gordon Ramsay wrestles a mid-carder up-and-comer named Ronald McDonald in an 18-minute middling sprint of a match, where Ronald only won by cheating. This is the beginning of the year of Ronald. Oh my... In the next week, in a match against the Burger King worker and Tony the Tiger, Diet Pepsiman lets himself get counted out, disqualifying himself and causing the reign of the Drink Brothers to last only 1 week. Pepsiman. Oh, getting reversed by Tony. Tony going up. High flyer. Serial enforcers have won. This, of course, breaks up the drinks and starts a feud between Pepsiman and Diet Pepsiman, which of course leads to the 10-man elimination match. If you were there for that 10-man elimination, you knew just how emotional Pepsiman went into this match. He puts himself into the 10-man, where he has to fight a man who brought Ronald to their limits the same week. The Jolly Green Giant. And Ronald McDonald's first title defense, it was him versus the Jolly Green Giant, one of the largest men on the roster. A match full of holds and Ronald's manager coming in to make the save. Another figure comes into this match, trying to make a name for themselves. Diggum Frog, in his debut, attempts to fuck Ronald out of his win, only for him to not help at all when Ronald pinned Jolly Green. Diggum would choose to remain in the background for the upcoming matches. Pepsiman survives to the end of the 10-man elimination, only to be eliminated by one Little Caesar.
Now, class, P is for
Little Caesar. D. McDonald, a name synonymous with hatred and betrayal, is a man who sold his soul to the devil for just a chance, a crumb, an idea of a fight with his former mentor, Ronald D. McDonald. D. McDonald defeated one of the other McDonalds in a match that I can't really remember. Gonna be honest. Didn't write it down. I have a notebook full of notes about this world that I just plumb forgot to write down his match with the other McDonald's. For the time being, let's say it was J. McDonald. It was a squash match. A match just to show who's the greatest of all time. But Ronald gets involved. And Ronald doesn't take too kindly to former McDonald's taking out their anger on other McDonald's. It was a match that lasted not too long and got the crowd to really realize that Ronald meant business. He meant everything. But in some tables, you never know when you need them. Tag division, Pepsiman and Hooters Waitress #1 becomes friends and form their own team to face on Diet Pepsiman and Hooters Waitress 2. The first of many matches
Didn't count.
between Pepsi and Diet. This ends with Hooters Waitress 2 getting the pin after a monkey flip through 2 tables. Wow. So once again, Diet has won. Pepsi will never forget this. Tony the Tiger is a name that only those in the know really cared about. Yes, he was one half of the tag champions, but in all honesty, anyone could have defeated Pepsi Man on his own with 2 other people. No, Pepsi Man hated Tony, but Tony had his sights on someone else. Someone bigger, someone grander, someone more grandiose. Tony the Tiger challenges Ronald McDonald. Greed has turned Tony into someone who just wants belts, the tag belt, the supersized belt, and he challenges Ronald to just a boxing match. Straight hands in a barbed wire ring, and while this match ended in 5 minutes, it gave Tony the first and only 4-star match of his career. And now, a moment in history. We here at the Clown Casino take our jobs very seriously. So, barbershops, hotel rooms, and bars all have cameras, hidden of course, that we like to keep our eye on. The Food Wrestling Federation does the same thing. And after the show, we see the bar. Pepsi Man is coming in for a drink, and the bar is surprisingly empty, which never happens. As he approaches the bar to get something, the doors swing open, and in steps Diet Pepsi Man. The two get into a heated argument, which turned to blows, and, well, Pepsi Man brains his brother through a table, and wins a backstage fight that was never truly a match, but everyone knew about it. The dirt sheets, they got this information. From who? We like to think it was Hooters Waitress #2, but we just plain have no evidence of that. It's raining.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna rain. Yeah.
He did it. He finally beat his brother, thus tying them up. No, I'm wrong. Diet won twice. It's 2-1. At the same time, Diggum Frog comes out of the shadows to challenge Ronald McDonald, and Ronald, the cocky bastard he is, accepts, seeing nothing in this little guy. He gets too angry at Diggum Frog after some choice words are said and hits him in the back of the head with the belt, giving Ronald his first loss by disqualification, but allowing him to keep that belt. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god!
No! Holy shit! Diggum Frog, we're sorry you're... But this is the price to pay for being enhancement talent.
Oh my god! Oh shit!
Oh, look at it. Wait a minute.
Oh
shit! Are we seeing some heart here? What? You lying!
Champ's advantage. Champ's advantage! At the same time, Diet Pepsi Man wins the belt off of Guy Fieri. Pepsi Man hates his brother, but something that he hates more is his own failures. He wants a belt so bad. He wants to be known as a champion, one of the greatest champions at that. Diggum and Ronald have a rematch, but Ronald defeats him in 1 minute. There's nothing really to write about. But in a moment of clarity, a vie to climb the ranks, Pepsi Man challenges Tony the Tiger a ring match and wins in under a minute. Jesus! I'm trying to eat and I hear these niggas going crazy. Ooh, I'm making a loser bracket. I think Pepsi Man just won. Pepsi Man is one of the smarter people in this company. When he notices certain people losing and certain other people losing, he goes after the people under them. This much is basically confirmed when Ronald defeats Colonel Sanders and Pepsi Man challenges the KFC employees, beating them, allowing him to rematch his brother Diet in the Hell in a Cell. Oh. Why did I say anything? Another loss for the Pepsi Man. Brief intermission. I know you've been keeping notes, you've been keeping tabs on what I've been saying, so I want to take a little detour to explain some things about the Food Wrestling Federation. Coming from Gordon Ramsay's mouth himself, I don't care about rankings. If I think you're a real shooter, you get a match with whoever I think you deserve. While it seems like I just make matches willy-nilly, I do, but I'm also trying to do my absolute best to make a competent storyline. With that being said, that is why jobbers like Diggum Frog get matches with the godlike creatures like Ronald, or why Diet gets a title shot but not Pepsi Man. Pepsi Man is being built up against Diet a lot, which yes, he does lose, but he's also the most recognizable dude in the company, so he will get a shot at that title. Which is why we have a match coming up. The 4-way for the belt. Ronald versus Jolly Green Giant versus the Jollibee versus Chef Boyardee. Oh! Jollibee is the last man in this match. He faces Ronald. Ronald, of course, did pack smoke and pin the other two, but he never pinned Jollibee. He knocked him out with a senton, and then his manager, Jane Mcdonald, hit him with a foot stomp, while the ref didn't care. But Ronald, cocky as ever, challenges Tony the Tiger and wins once more, quickly becoming the greatest figure in the Food Wrestling Federation. Jay just shattered her ankle. Powerbomb. Powerbomb, power slam. And where there is someone in any GOAT conversation, there's a figure as evil as any demon. Another red and yellow demon appears in the Food Wrestling Federation, changing his name from Hulk Hogan to Pastamania. But Pastamania cannot run wild without Pepsiman finding out. Pepsiman versus Pastamania is a turning point for Pepsiman because he made Pastamania tap out. It's almost time. What? It was a moment that was talked about through all the community of Pepsi drinkers, all of his fans. This was happening. A real clash of the titles was coming up. This was real, and it meant something to those who had put their stocks into Pepsiman early into this company. Alas, Pepsiman was not the next person to wrestle Ronald. Diet Pepsiman versus Ronald McDonald, champion versus champion, a match that was remembered at Carnage at the Kitchen. It was hell. A bloody mess of battling, one of the greatest 5-star feats that we had ever gotten. Diet had a brick for the majority of the match, and yet he just couldn't be the one to do it, losing to a sit-out powerbomb. After this point, Diet kinda slinks into the background. Of course, he challenges other people and wins certain matches, but no one from the original roster came out to challenge Ronald anymore. The invasion of video game characters happened, and only one man stood up to the test that these two men were giving him. Ronald McDonald versus Donkey Kong versus Tony the Tiger versus Sagat is a match that will go down in history as Ronald reminding people why he was the best. Ronald wins with the one-winged angel in this ultimate big boy triple threat, a move that is not in his moveset, that he did not learn from anyone on the roster. He's using the shit as punching weights. He just pointed to someone in the crowd. Kaufman drop on Sagat's head. That was a lot of blood that came out of Sagat's head. After this moment, a young, up-and-coming, pipsqueak of a man challenges Ronald, and Ronald accepts. The Supersized Championship of the Wrestling Federation. The last man standing between Pepsiman and Ronald. This match is an all-timer, a 5-star match, but what matters most is Pepsiman forgave his brother. Planted in the Oh my!
the blood still dragging.
I was about to say, is he about to...
Pepsiman used it the entire
What's about to happen here?
One, by dropping the champion face down onto the brick, knocking him out, and granting him the championship that he always wanted.
I didn't miss the stream. Let's go. This is real wrestling. Pepsiman Crystal. Oh my god! Pepsiman did it! He ends Ronald's streak 12-2. Despite Despite 12 wins being relatively low, Ronald was wrestling the main event every week, never taking a break. He was the workhorse for the champion who fought, cheated, but he won. He won every week up until this point. He fought with hatred in his heart, beefing with most people for the love of the game, and in his final fight, he threatened Pepsi Man's only friend for no reason other than hatred for anyone who had ever challenged him. That hatred in his heart was outmatched by the love in his opponent's heart for his brother, his friend Sagat. Sagat was in the second to last match with Ronald and Diet. 3 people who bring Ronald to his limit, with the other one being Diet Pepsi Man, and the last one being, of course, Pepsi Man. Diet even planted that brick in the ring, only for his brother to get his first solo belt and the Food Wrestling Federation Championship. The company goes bankrupt 1 year later, and all the matches afterwards become lost media. But have no fear. Pepsi Man, Ronald, and Diet Pepsi Man get picked up by the second company, the Mugen World. The Mugen World was, well, just as it sounded. Mugen. Anyone could be here. It was a world that added freaks such as Akuma, Ryu, Undyne, Saejima, Robocop, Fred Durst, Kazuya, M. Bison, Food, Pepsi Man, and of course, Ronald. We see a match between Kazuya, Bison, Food, Pepsi Man, and Ronald, where we see Food purposely knock himself out to give the belt to Ronald. This leads to a 4-man street fight for the Poker Championship. Right before this, we were sued, by the way, and had to start giving people health insurance, but they're not getting paid, so let's not talk about that. Don't any of you dare tell them that they're not getting paid. I don't want to pay them. Before we speak on this major event that happens, we must first talk about the background character Diet Pepsi Man and his ongoing feud. Pepsi Man forgave him. He used the brick that he gave him. But Diet didn't leave that for him. He left it because he was so severely concussed, he forgot to bring it with him. Diet was never in the GOAT conversation, nor was he ever an underdog. He was never good enough to beat Ronald, but never bad enough for people to like him as they did with Pepsi. He's not the focus, not a fan favorite, but also no one hated him. He just coasted on other people's success in an era where he could be booked just by being Pepsi Man's brother and Ronald's friend. Forever a middle child, forever a mid-carder, and now he's between the greatest champion and the fan favorite underdog. And in this moment, he feels hatred, rage, anger. Everything in his body swells, and that is when we see him pick up a Nokia and punch Pepsi Man in the jaw. Finisher. Oh! That might be what does it. Oh no, he's good. He just landed on his fucking head on concrete, but he's good. Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! The phone explodes, destroying Pepsi Man's right arm, Diet's face, but neither of them stop fighting. Diet wins with a low blow and then a leg drop to the back of his brother's head. Sadly, this is the last time we see Pepsi Man, as he sustained too many injuries and we couldn't resuscitate the 22-year-old. At a 7-7 win-loss rate, he held the tag belt and, of course, the Food Wrestling Federation Superstar Universal Championship. Pepsi Man dies with a smile on his face in a battle between his brother and his favorite opponent. Pepsiman died! And with that, this saga has to come to a close. We see that Pepsiman dies. Diet is stripped of his title that he gets to hold for all of one day, and Ronald retains, holding a company's brand new title. 6 months into the company, we see the death of Pepsiman, the return of a god, but that god doesn't feel anything now. His friend is dead, killed by his brother, someone who he forgave and gave chance to, but all in all, it ended up being for nothing. Ronald announces a tournament to mourn the greatest rival that he ever had, bringing people into the King of the King of the King of the King of the King tournament. All seem right in the world until Ronald becomes paralyzed, but not killed, meaning one day we could see him return. And if he does, then what would happen to his style, his attitude, his vibe? He's a shadow of his former self. You would know this if you checked up on him. In his final fight before being paralyzed, he went to a barbershop and found a detective who said the diet was technically in the right, and he put him through a table. I don't know if we're going to see that man anymore, someone who goes out there and avenges his friends, but if so, then I welcome it. So what did we learn? We actually learned quite a bit. Pepsiman has gone on record saying that his favorite match was his match with Ronald, and that he loved how physical the match was. He loved hearing the crowd get on their feet and believe in him. He loved everything about it, from just the brick being there and his brother being in the stands and him using Sagat's moves. Everything about this was perfect. He loved the finish. He used his love to win the only thing that he properly wanted. Ronald hasn't made any statements post-paralyzation about Pepsiman, but the only thing that he has said is, "Diet, look out." He did make some statements during the King of the King of the King tournament, stating that if Pepsiman was here, he would retire because he had done everything that he wanted to. He wanted to push and put Pepsiman on the pedestal that he knew that he deserved. Ronald was interesting towards Pepsiman, because when Ronald threatened Pepsiman's loved ones, Pepsiman didn't fight back. He didn't threaten or get under. He only fought. And he fought and he built himself up, taking any match that he could.